Have you ever wanted to print a plushie? Did you know it's possible to design and create custom fabric, have it printed out, and make a plushie with it? The ones I'm showing you right now are made using that exact method. Stay tuned to learn about this process from start to finish. Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I'm Dolphinwing, and I'll be showing you today how to design a printed plushie. If you've looked into custom fabric at all, you might have come across a website called Spoonflower. This is a site where you can upload your designs and they'll print it and send it to you. There are a couple other websites for this that I haven't used, but I'll leave them in the description if you want to check them out. The other way is to use a home sublimation printer. I haven't done this, but the way of making your designs is the same. So once you have your stuff all ready, you can check out some other videos on how to use a sublimation printer and get all the settings right and things like that. So to start, how do we make the design we want? Well, first you're going to need to make a sample plush, preferably in a white fabric, and the same kind you'll be using for the finished plush. You can scale it down to save on material for this step, just don't forget to enlarge it later. Once you have your plush in hand, it's time to get out some markers. Using a marker, you'll want to get all your important details on. This mostly includes things like the face, any stripes or spots, and especially elements that cross over seams. This is very important, so make sure you're happy with where the lines go. Once you have it all drawn on, time to get out that seam ripper and take it apart. No! Sorry, dude. Now you have your pattern with all the good stuff on it. You'll need to scan the pieces or take a photo to upload to your device. I'm using Photoshop, but you can use any art program you have. I always make my canvas 300 dpi, and for this I'm also making it the scale of the fabric I'll be printing on. I'm doing a fat quarter, so that's 18 inches for the height and 27 inches for the width. And Spoonflower also requests the files be made in RGB, so that's what I'm going to be going with. Now that I have my canvas, I'm going to import my pattern and the scan of the pieces I took apart. Having the digital pattern pieces helps me line everything up and add any markings I need for the construction. Another super important thing is to add a bleed. Basically, you'll just extend your colors into the seam allowance on your pattern, including any lines and other such details. And I'll put some well-placed little lines so I can tell where each piece should connect to another. I'll also add a contrasting background color so I can tell where to cut out the pieces. Make sure you have all the pieces you need and flipped for each side. So I'll need a right arm and a left arm and a right leg and a left leg, etc. And it's tempting to rotate pieces to save space, but I'll be printing on Minky, so I have to lay everything out according to the direction of the nap, which is going down like this. Now I've pretty much got the design how I want it, and I'm gonna double check the colors. But a good way I check that it'll print out okay is by having this color swatch from Spoonflower themselves. The hex codes correspond to the print on the fabric card, so I can get a pretty good idea of how a color will look when printed and make any adjustments before sending the file off. Now I think my design is ready for print, so I'm gonna save it as a JPEG and head over to Spoonflower. When you're on Spoonflower ordering your fabric, you'll upload the file you just saved. Now I need to point out something important here. If you look, you'll see it says they want a DPI of 150, and I just made my file in 300 DPI. So what you can do is actually change the scale here, and just type in 300, and that will make it the correct size. Then you'll choose your type of fabric and the size of the fabric. My pattern fits on a fat quarter, but if I wanted to make more than just one, I can just select 1 yard and it will tile my design. So now I can make 4 of these. Add to cart, and we'll see how that turns out. Okay, so I've been filming this video and everything, and I did get an order from Spoonflower recently, and it's not the right size. It looks like it was printed at 150 dpi instead of 300, which is my file size. So when you go to upload your design, either just make it 150 dpi or make sure you click this Save Changes button, because that seems to have worked. Luckily they did give me a credit, so I was able to get the correct size design. So yeah, just click that Save Changes button. I think that's what you have to make sure to do, and it should all be good. Okay, so the Chao came out nice, and so I'm gonna cut out all the pieces. For this one, I'm going to trace the paper pattern on the back because it's easier for me to sew that way and it's more precise. I also got this one, which is only a few pieces, so I'm going to use my seam allowance to sew him together. I made the bleed on this one 1/4 inch, so I'm going to follow the 1/4 inch mark on my sewing machine. And that's it. Once you turn and stuff, it's all done. I'll leave some links in the description, like the info about sublimation printing, the free Knight's Chao pattern, and of course my shop. If you made it this far, thanks so much for watching. I hope you learned something new, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!